Oh, you want me to introduce this scene, even though you're the one doing it. All right, well, the scene is set at a New Salem University where our dear Edwin Matthias has decided to pop in to see if maybe some old acquaintances that he had from a year ago in his classes were around to ask some questions. He arrives on campus, parks his car if he's driving, um, and exits to walk around the campus. It seems pretty typical for a seven or like a 7, 8 o'clock campus. You see students still around soon around. Sure, there's not very many courses, but there's still people walking around from their various dorms, from maybe night classes, maybe from like the student center. Who knows? And it's here where we will begin our scene. What are you gonna do, bub?
It definitely has been quite the walk. If his physiology were a little bit more susceptible, he would probably be maybe a bit winded at this point. Occasional jogging and one last sprint to get on campus brings him here. As he slows his pace, secures the hood back up over his head, and begins heading towards the computer sciences building. That is where one of his acquaintances would be, unless something changed.
Mm, well, you get to the computer science building. The building is not locked yet or anything like that, but the people you do see there don't appear to be anyone you know. You see a couple of students, various ages, in the computer lab working on whatever programs they're working on these days. But it seems that anybody you might have had a class with, they're not here. They're either home or maybe somewhere else, maybe out at a bar. Who knows? You don't know where they are, but they're certainly not here.
Hmm. Well, he'll stand for a moment, just kind of out of the way as much as he can, feeling more. How can we say it? Oh no, kind of longing for the activity that goes on amongst this campus. After a while, he'll take one last look in a few classrooms and a few study halls. Behind him, down a hall, maybe down some adjoining halls, and begin roaming around campus to see if he spots anything, I don't know, unusual,
Mm,
weird, creepy people.
no. Well, you go ahead and roll perception investigation, I suppose.
Okay, I can do that. I can do. Oh, damn it. Okay. Ah, let's see. Aha! Okay. And that is visual based, so that's going to be plus one difficulty or minus one dice or something. So minus one. So
It'll be a +1 difficulty because I'm not
plus,
exactly sure what the.
okay. Or
Uh,
the eyes.
yeah, I
The glow.
gotcha. Okay. No. Everything
Well,
seems to be exactly as you left it, so to speak. There's nothing out of the ordinary here.
hmm. Sigh of relief crosses his lips. Hmm. At that, he will. Wow. Um, he will actually leave this campus, or leave this college campus, and try to catch a bus, if he can, heading towards Bay College.
Okay, you do that. The scene there is pretty much the same as it was before. You see, buildings lit up. You see students here or there studying. I don't know. It's going on 8:30, 9 o'clock. There's not as many as you usually see, but the buildings are still open because students still use them to study even late at night.
Hmm. Let's see. Well, as he begins walking around campus, he will well, head towards a. That's what I'm looking for. A like a public meeting area, basically.
Okay, well, there's the student center, which is kind of where
Pretty
the
much. Yeah.
I guess what you would call the cafeteria and other sort of things. All right, yeah, so you can go to the student center. There are people there who appear to be students, just kind of hanging around.
Right. Right. Um. As he walks in, he'll take a seat at one of the tables. Um. And begin looking up on his phone, utilizing the wonderful advent of public Wi-Fi. Um, to look up, what is it? Anemia symptoms. And in a secondary tab, he will bring up the article about the last missing student that was attending this campus before she went missing, just to kind of review it, reread it.
Okay, so we're talking about Annalise, right?
Yeah, occasionally um, as he's looking up this information, occasionally he'll look up and around a little bit.
Okay, well, when you look up Annalise, she still hasn't appeared to be found yet. The only thing you know about her is that she disappeared while taking a jog in the park or something, and her parents want her back. And I believe her parents were pretty well off, according to the article. But nothing mentioning any sort of symptoms. Now, if you're looking up the, symptoms for anemia, well, the typical symptoms are like fatigue, shortness of breath, and headache, dizziness, pale skin, legs cramps, insomnia. It has a lot to do with iron deficiency. Maybe they're not hungry. Maybe they have blood loss. Uh, it's hard to say cancer. That's what you're looking up on the internet.
And he continues reading. He really continues, trying to absorb this. And as he's reading this, he'll kind of get up a little bit, just kind of walking around casually, over to a soda machine.
Okay.
pulling, I don't know, a couple dollars out of his wallet. He'll look at some of the other students, seeing if they exhibit, how can we say it,
Symptoms?
unnecessary fatigue, or possibly, how can we say it, more overt paleness.
Do you want to roll perception alertness?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And let me see. Okay, my alertness dice pool is one better.
Okay. No. Nobody seems to be. I mean, of course, people seem tired, but no one seems sick. They just seem worn out, which is pretty typical for a college student who studies all the time.
Right. Right. Nothing unusual. Places the money in the soda machine, makes a selection, and places it into the pocket on his hoodie, and continues walking along. Doesn't want to linger, doesn't want to attract unusual attention.
Go ahead and roll perception alertness again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you're walking, trying not to look conspicuous, you see like posters and stuff for events going on in campus. However, there's one kind of poster that's a bit odd. It's really plain, really, and it's has like black and red lettering on it, very plain writing, and it just says Hollenbeck Hall closed until further notice due to recent illness.
And that's taking into account the visual meuble. Okay. He'll kind of look around, see if anyone's like looking in his direction as
No.
he lingers around that poster.
No one cares. Everyone's busy.
He'll just kind of grab it.
Okay.
And he will find a college campus map, because this is a campus he's not too familiar with. And he will locate this building to find the best route.
It seems to be just a very basic, just go ahead and take a sidewalk street there. It's on the other side of campus, but it's no big deal.
Okay.
Take you maybe 5-10 minutes to walk over there.
As soon as Edwin checks the map, begins walking in that direction.
All right.
Taking, how can we say it? Not a primary walking path, maybe like a narrow secondary. Just, again, he doesn't want to arouse unneeded suspicion. He doesn't want to make people paranoid.
Okay. All right. Well, you go to that direction. You pass a couple of students as they're walking here and there, but they don't pay attention to you. Maybe a couple of them will give you an odd look since you're wearing sunglasses at night, but they don't say anything because they don't care. You get to a little building at the edge of campus, and it says Hollenbeck Hall of Electrical Engineering and Sciences.
As he folds up the the flyer the notification that he pulled off, and just kind of pocket it.
Well, as you kind of get close to the building, you can see the notifications like right on the door.
Yeah. Odd. Closed due to illness. He'll walk a little bit closer.
Okay.
Approaching the door.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. It's eyeing occasionally.
So you're looking inside? What are you
The
doing?
locked door. He'll try to, as he kind of eyes the door a little bit, like eyes the lock. He's like, oh damn it. Um, he'll try to look on the inside. Yeah, try to see if there's a window.
You look on the inside and you see it just looks like an atrium right there. There's kind of windows all over the place, but they look kind of like very generic, not like, something you find on a house. The inside looks clean, maybe very clean. In fact, you see like some cleaning supplies sitting in the atrium as well.
Hmm. He'll make his way around the building to see if he can get a different get a different angle on the inside, unless there are curtains pulled, along the sides or the other.
Well, some of them are, yeah. Some of them have like shades drawn and things like that. But every time you look into a window that isn't, it's just a dark room with desk or something, or maybe it's a storage closet. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Everything looks very nice and organized in there, though.
Interesting. He lowers his head, shakes a little bit, closes his eyes, begins to focus. When he lifts his head, he opens his eyes, blinking again as if to focus. At this point, I'm activating Eyes of the Beast
Okay.
and looking in,
Mm,
trying to keep his eyes away from bright light.
right. Well, there's no lights on in this building. Everything's turned off, like it's closed for the evening. And when you look in, you don't see anything unusual, really. Go ahead and roll perception alertness.
Okay.
Okay. You hear someone kind of coming up like the sidewalk very close to where you are. You don't see them yet, but they might be turning the corner soon.
Hmm. He quickly just kind of wheels around instead of like obviously looking in the window. He'll begin walking along the path along the side of the building, um, listening intently to. As soon as footsteps round the corner, he'll just kind of darn like missed it.
Mm. Yeah, you see just a young lady kind of walk by. She has a backpack on. She notices you as you walk by, and she just kind of nods and smiles. Hi.
Hi. Um, I was wondering. I actually just recently got a transfer here from NSU. I was wondering, do you know anything about the illness that closed this building down?
Does she? Let's see. Well, yeah, some for whatever reason. I mean, anemia is not contagious, but a lot of students came down with some anemic symptoms. So um, they kind of quarantined all the like electrical engineer students and this thing. They're cleaning it up. It's not just in case it's something, maybe like a parasite or something. They're not really sure, so they're just scrubbing the building down.
Okay. Wow. How many students actually were confirmed? That's
I don't
pretty.
know. This isn't my department. I'm an English major. You didn't get the email? I would think you would have got the email.
Uh, a friend of mine forwarded it to me, but you read it one night, you get busy the next night, you forget.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you have an engineer class, I don't know if they're still having them, like maybe in a different hall or something. But yeah, they just quarantine everybody for a moment or two. I doubt it's going to be very long because it really causes anemia anyway. But
True. Well, student diets, I suppose.
oh yeah, well they did mention cooking your food's really good. So and washing your hands, stuff like that.
Yeah, and making sure that you don't scrimp on the metals. So,
Mm.
all right. Is there another sciences, uh, another area for science buildings? Check that out.
Yeah, up the way. There's Coke Hall. That's more like biology and chemistry.
No, nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's a substitute. All right.
Mm,
Thanks anyway, though. You have a good night. Be safe.
yeah, sure. She just kind of walks off.
And he'll begin walking um, in that direction based on a little bit of his memory. Um, Once he's satisfied that her back is turned, that the young lady's back is turned, um, he'll try to find whatever foliage, trees, large shrubs, anything he can to just kind of keep an eye on her and see if anyone follows.
Okay. Go ahead and use Dex Stealth.
Yep. Let me just double check. Okay. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
you manage to hide behind some bushes as she begins to walk away.
He'll continue following like this, trying to be careful, with his footsteps, but occasionally he may, he'll step on a branch, he'll crunch some leaves, he'll oh shit, try to keep everything under his breath.
Go ahead and roll Perception Alertness.
Okay. Maybe one.
All right. Well, there seems to be somebody who kind of walks out of a building that she passes as you follow her, who tends to follow her path. As she seems to be walking down a hill down to like the dormitory areas.
Hmm. Well, it's not too unusual. Could be another student going in the same direction, but just to be on the safe side, he'll continue. If he has to switch sides to be able to stay, behind bushes, behind trees, he will. Trying to, instead of like hot footing it, maybe a quick leap at a few
Okay.
steps, that kind of thing.
Sure. Well, you do that. You're following these two things. This guy keeps kind of gaining on her as he's walking behind her.
Edwin,
He's walking faster, it seems.
so he's picking up pace.
Yeah.
And he's walking behind her, not making his way to go around her.
Well, he hasn't caught up to her yet.
Edwin's eyes will go to the man's hands to see what they're doing.
They're in his pockets. It's kind of cold.
True. At this point, he'll come out from behind a tree and start walking behind the man to try to, how can we say it? Try to catch his pace, catch up to him, be like trying to catch up with some. Oh, he looks familiar. Maybe that's someone that kind of thing.
All right, so you're gonna try to catch up to him.
Yeah, while trying to not give away my hurried footsteps. That's not going to happen easily.
All right, so you want to sneak up on him.
Yeah.
Okay, use
It's going to be
Dex Stealth.
It's going to be pretty high.
Okay, yeah, you do that. You sneak up behind him. He can't even hear you. He still seems to be catching up to her.
Okay. I think I gave myself a much higher difficulty. And he'll continue. He'll continue to do that. He won't come up on him just yet. He'll just try to see if he can match his pace.
Yeah, you can. You're doing that right now. You're matching his pace.
Keeping keeping an eye on his movements, whether or not he starts making his way to pass around her, or what his hands do.
Well, he's still walking fairly fast behind her, and then as you kind of as you kind of get to the bottom of the hill, and she's starting to like cross this little kind of bridge over to this over this little stream, as this campus is well well groomed and landscaped. You see us pull his hands out of the pockets and start jogging towards her. Hey, Sarah, wait up! You hear him say as he kind of jogs to her.
At this point, if there's anything Edwin can duck behind, he is going to take a very quick leap behind something and duck.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. It's pretty easy.
Okay. You don't want me to make an athletics roll?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
The guy kind of approaches her on this bridge. She just kind of turns around. She's a little surprised to see him, but then you hear her just kind of laugh a little bit. He kind of gets a little closer to her. You see him jogging to catch up and then slow down as he gets closer to her. They start talking in low voices, but you can't really hear what they're saying.
They're stationary now.
Yeah.
He'll try to get closer to see if he can make out anything they're saying.
Use Dex. Well, I'll go ahead and give you that. You can sneak up to him. You've rolled really well. Use Perception Alertness.
Okay. Oh, wow. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So as you kind of catch up to him, you can just hear him say, "Hey, Sarah, there's a beta party this weekend. You wanna go with me?" And you hear her just kind of giggling, going, "What? You don't want to take Angela?" Nah. There's kind of an awkward silence. You can't hear what she's saying, but then she just kind of says, "Sure. When you coming to get me?" "Oh, 8:00. Okay, then. And the conversation just kind of stops there.
Damn. Edwin's mind begins to... Oh, God. It goes to strange places. But then, he focuses more on the conversation that just kind of went, how can we say it, awkward turtle. Frat party. As he kind of backs up a little bit, eventually getting back to his feet, he finds an area to step over or between a couple separate bushes, and begins walking the opposite way. Back towards more the campus proper.
Okay, you do that. Overall, everything seems to be above board as far as you can tell.
Yeah, normal. Nothing odd. I mean, frat parties on campus, nothing strange about that. I mean, sure, weirdos could show up, but
Yeah, they could.
these don't seem to concern Edwin too much. Well, they do, but not really. Curious.
As you're just kind of walking into campus proper, you kind of see you kind of get towards the street off campus onto like maybe the edge of campus on the street, and you see what appears to be campus security kind of parked to the side. Um, the security guard sitting in the car, campus police actually, they're actual police, but they're on campus, kind of
Right.
sees you and waves, thinking that you're just a student.
Edwin will smile and wave back.
Okay.
No need to be suspicious, owl.
No. Is there anything else you are wanting to do? That you can think of doing at the moment?
Other than checking for, well, no. He starts to head back in that direction, then thinks again. Wait. Engineering student body is quarantined. Edwin will leave campus at this point and start heading back in the direction a few blocks away from the NSU campus. It's an old apartment.
Okay.
To check in on an old friend.
Okay.
After some time, 30, 40 minutes, we all know how buses run. He will walk into the apartment complex towards the mailboxes and look for a last name and first initial. Anderson, L.
All right, yeah.
And see if the apartment number is the same as he remembers.
Yes, it appears so.
Curious. Edwin will kind of blink a couple times, rubbing his eyes underneath his glasses as he begins heading towards the stairs. Releasing the more overt glow. I don't think it really matters, but and he will begin heading towards that apartment.
Okay.
Taking a few ragged, haggard breaths. Focus a little bit of blood in his body. To try to rub his hand and think warmth. As he nervously goes to knock on the door.
Okay. You go in and knock on the door, and then you hear just someone say, "1 moment." You hear someone stepping foots and stuff. The clicks of locks. There's a couple, like a chain lock and a regular deadbolt, and the door opens, and there you see your old girlfriend, Leslie, and her face is, well, at least it was smiling at first, and then she looks at you and that smile goes away for a moment. She just kind of stares at you dead-faced for a moment.
Hello?
What? What are you doing here? You have some fucking nerve showing up here. Where the fuck have you been?
all of these things can be explained. Well, kind of explained. I mean,
Oh, they could be kind of explained. Where have you been? She doesn't keep in mind she's standing at the door. She's not letting you in. Maybe you should start explaining, because right now you're a missing persons.
I know. I know.
Oh, as a matter of fact, you know. Okay, well, come on. What is it?
This isn't the easiest thing.
Oh, it's not easy for you, huh? For a year, I thought you were, like, gone, dead, something. No one knew where you were. Not easy for you, huh? Wow.
I know it wasn't easy for you as well.
No. So start explaining.
Well, I went to work like I normally did, or do. And, yeah. Halfway into my shift, some jerk fucking comes up behind me down in the fucking subway tunnels, the access tunnels. They must have followed me or something. I don't know what the hell. Next thing I know, I wake up with a splitting headache. And every single night for the past year, I've learned.
So you've been. So the reason why you've been missing, and you've not been here, is because you had a headache. You couldn't send an email or a text or anything.
I didn't have my phone. I didn't have a computer near me. I didn't have any means of communicating. I mean,
a letter, a post stamp. You were trapped in a room. Were you kidnapped?
Yeah.
Well, then you need to go to the police now.
I want to, but I also don't want these people to find me again.
Oh, they don't want to find you again, so you're going to just let them get away with it and find somebody else.
No. I'm going to try not to let them get away with it.
She kind of turns and goes into her house. She doesn't exactly invite you in. The door's still kind of ajar as she walks in, and she grabs something off her table in the kitchen. I'm calling the police. Kidnapped. You don't want him to find you again. This is ridiculous.
Look, it's not. He's not going to walk in, but he will kind of nudge the door open just a little bit more. Look, you can't do that, please. This is a lot more complicated than you can know. A hell of a lot more complicated.
How is it more complicated? I can't help you if you don't tell me anything.
I should have just kept my distance.
What? Why should you just kept your distance? What are you talking about?
Look.
You need to call the police. You need to call your family.
And
you need to, start answering for things.
I've contacted my family. We're worried as hell, but they're doing better. Look, I really shouldn't have come here. Would have been much better if I hadn't. I need you to be a lot more careful when you go to school or work. Need you to be really, really careful. Because I think those same people have been around either one of two or both campuses.
What? How do you know that? What? Now you really should go to the police if they're going to threaten other people.
I don't know that. I read the newspapers like you do. It's just a suspicion. And after what happened to me, I mean, I don't want to alarm you. I don't. I just want you to be safe.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna be safe. And she just kind of looks at her phone and it seems like she's dialing the police department. This is ridiculous. Go sit down. I'm calling the cops.
Just.
So what are you doing?
Mm. He's going to walk in for a moment and look for a pen and paper somewhere near the door, if there is one.
You can go in a little ways and find one, but there's not one easily in the doorway now.
Okay. So he'll go in for a little bit, closing the door behind him.
As you do that, you could see her. She just kind of looks at you. She just says, "Wait right there." As you see her walking into another room. But you do find your pen and paper.
Let the police know. The last location, and he gives a very very detailed service route number in the southern line, and kind of connects it with a second level of coordinates within 3 blocks. Just let them know I'm fine. I'm just trying to get back on my feet. And I'll be in touch. We'll talk later. He'll put the pen down after writing that and begin quietly heading back out the door.
Okay, you do manage to do all this before she comes back to talk to you. So, as you can hear, kind of talking in the other room, quite animated to probably the dispatcher. You leave your note for her and walk out, shutting the door behind you.
As soon as the door is shut, let's see, I believe this is going to be a 2-story apartment building. Is there a clear shot down?
Yeah.
He'll kind of quickly leap downward a bit,
Okay.
trying to land in a not in a springboard fashion, but more like not like a straight, land on his feet, more like a land on his feet into a roll.
Okay, fine. You do that. What's your athletics?
1.
You kind of do it. You
Yeah.
get knocked around a bit, but you
Cool.
manage to roll out a little bit without breaking anything, I suppose.
Maybe some bruising, some muscle bruising. Not a problem.
Right.
And he will kind of head around the building just under a couple windows around that apartment, just watching for a moment as he makes his way around the back.
Okay. Well, you make your way around the back. Are you sticking around for a while?
Just for a few moments.
All right. Well, you stick around for a few moments, but you don't see anyone arrive right away. As you start to clear off from that place, you do see what appears to be a squad car pull up to the front of the apartment complex. No lights on or anything, and you see somebody stepping out of the vehicle and heading upstairs.
Edwin will continue walking, lowering his head just a little bit more.
Okay.
After about another block, he'll cross the street to the other side. And eventually, in a roundabout fashion, start making his way back south towards the Blade South Docks area.
All right. Well, I guess that means this is end scene then.
Yes, it does.